like I said to Rod, and Rod even said that, the little traffic court lady in the little town in Ohio said to him 15 years earlier, don't bother bringing any of that paperwork into this court because it's not your court. You're not an attorney. You can't use this stuff, and I'm not going to look at it anyway because we don't care what your interpretation of Ohio code or the traffic codes are, the Constitution or the Magna Carta. We don't care what your interpretation is. You're not a member of the legal society. We don't care what your opinions are. And that's what I try to keep telling people a million times. It's like if Rod Glass this is the kind of guy who'd walk into the Boy Scout Society, the Boy Scout Jamboree, and start sitting there amongst the Boy Scout, troop leaders or whatever they call those guys who are the leaders of this Boy Scout Society, Boy Scout group. And he'd start whipping out the Boy Scout Code handbook manual and telling them that they're doing it all wrong. And they'd be like, we're doing what? Oh, you're doing it all wrong. You see, the flag goes over there, and you sit over there, and that guy goes over there. You're doing it all wrong. I'm here to show you Boy Scouts how to fix your Boy Scout society, how you doing your codes all wrong. So he was trying to say last week, it's like, oh, well, I'm doing the legal society, and I'm showing the legal society how they're doing it all wrong. And I'm bringing out all the procedural errors that they're making. It's like, dude, the same thing the Boy Scouts will tell you. Are you a Boy Scout? No. You get the hell out of here. You a Boy Scout? No. Then who gives a damn what your opinion is? So it just makes you laugh. It's like, he's like, well, I'm just showing them everything that they're doing wrong. It's like, dude, you're not one of them. They don't care. They couldn't care less.
It's just spinning your wheels. Yeah,
you're just wasting your time. Oh, yeah, and it was funny before I hung up before and I came to the house, so I had to take care of the animals. But so it was funny. One funny thing that man said, he said, oh, make sure you never put a zip make sure you never put a zip code on anything because
that's Doug. Doug is still on, and he's unmuted, so you can talk directly to him.
What I'm just saying, what I think is funny is when people send me letters, and I get hundreds of letters, when people send me letters and I don't see a zip code, I go, uh-oh, here's a nut job. Uh-oh, this guy's going to be a hard nut to crack. Uh-oh, this guy's going to give me trouble. Uh-oh, I got to deprogram this guy's brain. Uh-oh, he's listened to too many YouTube videos. Uh-oh. Here we go. Because the only thing it does, it puts your target on your back and says, uh-oh, this guy's a wacko. This guy's a tax protester. Okay, we're going to really concentrate on this guy. We're going to break this guy. That's the only thing that does. I mean, when I get letters and I see people doing, when I see the four-corner bracket or the zip code in the box or non-exempt, and I see all kinds of crazy stuff on the envelope, I go, uh-oh. I don't even know if I really want to answer this letter. I don't even really know if I want to even open it.
Wait a minute. Okay, Doug, so what do you say to that?
I haven't had any problems at all not using a zip code, and it wasn't because I was listening to any YouTube videos. It wasn't because I was listening to any YouTube videos. I read the law. It's voluntary. They can deliver mail without a zip code.
Okay, but what Karl is saying is that it immediately puts a target on your back.
I don't have a target on my back. They have left me alone.
Okay, I didn't say you personally. Okay, I said when I see it. Okay, I didn't say when the IRS sees it. I didn't say when the FBI looks at it.
Okay.
I didn't say when anybody. I said when I see it. I said the first thing it does is sends up a flag. And I'm telling you, if you start doing crazy things on your envelopes, like putting crazy names like family of or whatever, and you put family crests all over the stuff, or you put American flag upside down, or you put stamps on the on the bottom on the wrong side. Oh, dude, I'm just making this stuff up. I don't even know if any of this stuff exists. All I'm trying to say is, if you do anything out of the ordinary, they're going to pull your. Okay, it's just everybody knows almost every single thing in mail processing. It gets automated. It just zips through the line, and the machine just basically scans everything. They see something. The machine doesn't pick up a zip code. It throws your letter out. I mean, you know that. It throws your letter into a bin. So your letter is getting special attention, and I don't want my letter to get special attention. I don't want to stick out in the crowd. I just want to get in and out as fast as I can. I don't want to draw no attention to myself. So when I write letters to these people, I make it look so plain Jane that they never see me coming. They never have any idea where this letter is going. I just write a nice little simple letter to them and say, oh, are you the man or woman who's been assigned this case? Are you the man or woman who's been assigned, to this matter. Thank you. Kind regards. Have a happy holiday. Have a wonderful day. And I sign my name. I just make it super simple. I just want to get them man on man. I just want to get them one-on-one. Well, I'm not an executor. I'm not an executor. I'm not a trustee. I'm not a trustor. I'm not a grantor. I'm not anything. I am not a beneficiary. I'm just a man. That's all I know. I don't want any other titles. I got too many other titles in my life already. I'm a dad. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm an uncle. I got way too many titles. I don't want to be a beneficiary. I don't want to be an executor. I don't want to be anything. I just make it so simple it's scary. And nobody could place a title on me nobody could call me taxpayer. I can't accept the title. Thank you. It's a wonderful title, but at this time I got my hands full. Are you calling me taxpayer? Is that a title? No, I'm sorry. I can't accept it at this time. It's going to be quite a burden on me. And I sure know you don't want to burden your fellow man, with undue responsibilities. I can't be obligated to you at this time. I got way too many obligations on my plate right now. I just write nice letters like that. I don't go using 3-syllable, 4-syllable words. I just talk as plain as possible, and that's exactly what the judge in England said to a man in England when he got on my show. The judge said to him, if you want this common law, stuff to work, you better keep your words down to 1 syllable. You better stop talking like an attorney. You better just talk like a common man. You better start using 1-syllable words. Because you start going off on these 2, 3, 4-syllable words, you're talking like an attorney, and we're going to treat you like one. You want to be a legal person? We'll treat you like a legal person. The judge said to me, what's your name? What, my given name or my legal name? The judge would say, my legal name. I said, I don't have a legal name. I'm not a member of your legal society. Just like I don't have a Boy Scout name. Like my name isn't Big Bear Running Leadfoot. I don't have a Boy Scout name. My Boy Scout name isn't Chief Running Bear, Lead Buckles. I don't have a Boy Scout name. I don't have a legal name. I'm sorry, I'm not a legal person, Oh, you're looking for the legal person? Oh, I don't know where you can find that. I think you saw some of these documents over here. I think that legal person you're looking for might be over here. But no, I'm a man. And I only have a given name, and it was given to me by my mom. And she told me not to give it away to anybody. But you can call me Carl, but that's about it. So like I said, I just try to play it as simple as possible. It was like Rod Glass said, when he said that the judge lady 15 years ago, and this was a little traffic court judge lady, a little traffic court in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, he said. Even she knew. She said, don't use our stuff. We're not going to look at it. We're not going to accept your interpretations. We don't care what you think it reads. We don't care. We don't care how smart you think you are. We don't care. You're not one of us. It's just like the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts. You're not one of us. We don't care what you think the Boy Scout manual says. We don't care. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you want to try to play their game, they're not going to accept you into their crowd, into their group. You have no certification. You've got no proof of any knowledge, working knowledge that, you're competent at it. So why should they listen to you? Just like me and my friends. If me and my friends were doing some excavation work or we're doing some welding and you come up to me, it's like, well, I read a welding manual and I think this is how you should weld something. Oh, really? Are you a welder? No. Then what could we possibly want to know from you? Well, the book says this. Okay. Have you ever done it does the book say what to do when it's over 90% humidity? I don't think so. Yeah, well, it's over 90%. We're going to have to do it a little different here. Well, the book says, I don't think the man who wrote the book was in a humid climate. I think he might have been in a dry climate and he might not have understood that this is how you have to do it when it's wet out. So it's like, thank you for interpretation, but you know what? You're really wasting my time. So like I said, when it's their case, you basically just have to back off and let them do their case, just like I did with Bali in England. The first thing we walked in there and we basically just said, yeah, they're guilty. Why? They're guilty. Of course they're guilty. Why? Because they're not legal persons. Look at them. I said, thank the Lord, sweet Jesus, they're brown-skinned, so they don't look like you people, white English people. And thank God they're from India. They have their own culture, their own language, their own beliefs. They're Punjabi. So what they're doing over here in England, you might think is crazy, but where they come from, it's par for the course. It's how they do business every day. So, so are they guilty because they, in breach of some sort of legal procedure, legal practice? Absolutely. They have no freaking clue what the hell you people are going on about. They have no idea. They haven't done a damn thing wrong. Now, have they done some against the legal code, a legal procedure? Sure. Is it illegal what they did? Absolutely. I'm not arguing.
So what if they weren't brown? What if they were just white guys or black guys?
I said, fortunately, that's what I said to the judge. Fortunately for me, it's going to make this case extremely easy for me because they're brown skinned. So you can look at them and say, they are not part of this culture. They are not part of society. I said, if they were white and they look like you or me, it might be harder for you to believe that they are not legal persons. Like me, I am not a legal person. But I look like you, and I talk like you, so you would probably believe that I'm just, you're just making believe that you don't really know what's legal and not legal. No, I couldn't care less what's legal and not legal. It's none of my concern what's legal and not legal. That's why you put it in paperwork. That's why you put it in writing, so they don't have to take a look if you're black, if you're white, if you're Indian, if you're Eskimo, if you're Aboriginal. You don't have to. You put it in writing. You say, I am not the legal person. I am just simply a man. I've done no wrong. There's simple letters like that, simple notices like that. 2-3 sentences tops, and I'm done. Making it crystal clear. I'm not a legal person. I've got a given name called Karl Lentz.
You don't say anything about using capital letters and having your name in all caps. You don't go into any of that?
I just make it normal. I just make it the way my mom told me to do it. Mm-hmm. And this is what I try to tell people. And this is what the judge in England said. If you want this common law stuff to work, just talk like a common man. Just use one-syllable words. Just talk plain. Don't do anything fancy. Don't use any big words. You don't have to explain. We could see when a man is before the court. He's talking like a man. He's not talking like an attorney. He's not talking like a brain surgeon. He's not talking like an airline pilot. He's simply talking like a man.
Listen, there's somebody on the chat here that is Identitas is saying Karl just admitted he knows that common law only applies to white people.
Common law is unwritten. There is no law. Like some kid asked me that the other day. Some kid calls me up and says he wants to do the common law. He wants to help people do common law. I said, kid. And he says, the practices of the people at the time. I said, yeah, that's my definition. I said, what does the law dictionary say? What does every single law dictionary say about what's the number one term that it says, the number one definition of common law? And he was like, I don't know. I said, well, you want to do common law and help people, and you listen to my shows, huh? Yeah. I said to the kid, if you wanted to be a veterinarian, what does that mean? He says, well, that means I help animals. I said, there you go. I said, if you wanted to be, if you wanted to be a baker, what does that mean? He's like, well, I bake cakes and stuff. Good. And you want to do common law? What does common law mean? He's like, I'm not really sure. I said, why don't you go find out? He says, well, what kind of book can I go read about and study about the common law? I said, what do you mean? He said, how far back should I go? I said, why don't you go look at paintings on the caves where the caveman's painted and they explained it in paintings to their children, simple things. And they just doodled it on the side of a cave wall. I said, common law is unwritten. It's just the practices and the beliefs of the people throughout the ages as they've been passed along from generation to generation. It's unwritten. There is no book that explains about the common law. And like I said, you have a guy like Charles say, yes, the common law, you could find it in English, 1640, chapter 7, 362, section 5, it clearly explains the common law. It's like, no, the common law is not written. It's the beliefs of the people and the society of the culture, like the Punjabi culture. They might have had the same beliefs for the last 4,000 or 5,000 years. And now we're coming along trying to tell them, well, no, it's common law. You got to syrup butter and you got to do a plevin, and then we're going to file a motion in Trova They'll be like, what? That's common law? No, that's not common to us. This is what we've been doing for 5,000 years. If somebody took our cow, this is what we did. Oh, well, that's called a replevin. So you got to file a replevin. No, we don't. This is the way we've been doing court for 5,000 years, and this is the way we're going to keep on doing it. We don't care what you want to do. This is a public courthouse, a public court building. You run your procedures under the legal code, under the legal procedures as you wish, and we're going to run it under our procedures the way we've been doing it for thousands of years. We don't need your help. We've been doing it just fine without you. And this is what I try to tell people. The legal society is just trying to encapsulate the whole entire world into just abiding by a certain set of codes, so that if you do something wrong in China or Istanbul or Greece or, no matter where you are, it's going to be the same code. It's going to be like freaking Star Trek, where we're all Earthlings. We're not Greeks. We're not Brits. We're not Scots. We're not Irish. We're Earthlings. They want this one unified planet, one global, like Star Trek. Most of the people who probably listen to your show right now love Star Trek. And that's what they want. They just want one global community, one Earthlings. There's no nations. Everybody abides by the same codes. It's ridiculous. I don't want to live like that. But, some people call me primitive and all this other stuff. Well, that's fine. I don't want to be an Earthling.
Okay, but the common law applies to everyone equally, right?
Well, it depends. Whose society? If there's a Sharia law, if you're 1/3 of the world practices Sharia law, and obviously there's a hierarchy there. Certain people can do certain things, and certain people can't. Like women can't drive cars, women can't do this, women can't do that. But that's their common law. You go over to Saudi Arabia, and you have millions and millions of people running around there. Their common belief, their common law is women can't drive cars.
Okay, but he's saying here in the chat, common law came from the English. It's common to white English people.
That's ridiculous. Okay. Whoever's saying that is just being ridiculous. Now he's just wasting his finger space typing things. Because common law is if the common law is unwritten. If he looks up in any dictionary, the very first thing he'll see under common law is unwritten, the unwritten law. Now, if you're saying English common law, that's fine. Then the English common law is a common law for the English. That's fine. Are you trying to tell me there's not a common law amongst Eskimos up in the Arctic Circle, where there's no paper, no pen, no books ever? Are you telling me they don't have a certain tradition and customs when somebody steals from somebody, that they don't hold court somehow amongst themselves and render, justice without paper, pen, and ink? That's their common law. It's Eskimo common law, just like English common law. So that's ridiculous to just say common law only can mean one thing. That's what I was saying before. When somebody's saying grand jury or jury trial, it's like grand jury can be a brand of ice cream. Just be who's defining what a grand jury is. It depends who's the one who's defining it. And if you got somebody else who believes in what you believe in, that, hey, you know what, I got this great ice cream called grand jury. What? Yeah, it's really good. And the next thing you know, millions of people are eating ice cream called grand jury. Instead of calling it grand apple or grand grape, I call it grand jury. Why? I don't know. I just like calling it grand jury. It's my brand of ice cream. It doesn't mean there's 12 people that are sitting in that little ice cream container. That's ridiculous. It's whoever defines it. And whatever catches on, whatever popular. It's a belief. That's all law is. Law is just an opinion. At one time, last year, if you had a gram of marijuana in Colorado, you went to jail for 20 to 30 years. Now if you have 3 metric tons that you're selling in Colorado, they give you tax incentives and tax breaks to open up a store in the middle of capital city. So you can sell 300 metric tons because that's how much more money they can get in tax revenues and tourism in that section of the town.
And they put you on the local. They put you in the local newspaper as the new up and coming businessman.
Yeah, the entrepreneur of the month. Yeah. But a year ago, if you sold 3 ounces of it, you went to jail for 15 to 20 years. And if you did it within the school zone, well, that was another 30 years tacked upon it. So laws are just an opinion. At one time, it's illegal And then the next day, it's legal. That's ridiculous. Law always stays the same. Is it lawful to sell pot? Of course it is. Was it always lawful to sell pot? Of course it was. If I had pot and I wanted to sell it to somebody, and they came up to me and they said, "Look, you got pot to sell?" "Yeah." "Well, I got a bicycle. How much will this bicycle get me?" "I don't know. It'll get you 4 ounces of pot." "Okay." I gave him the 4 ounces of pot. He gave me the bicycle. That's lawful. He gave me something. I gave him something in return. That's lawful. Nobody stole anything from anybody. Nobody did anything unlawful. Now, is it legal? I don't give a damn. It's like, oh, well, you did it. You could only sell pot on Mondays through Friday from 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can't do it on Sunday because there's a blue law in your state. I say, I ain't got time for all this nonsense. I'm just here to exchange with my fellow man goods for services, or services for services, or goods for goods. I couldn't care less what somebody who lives 1,000 miles away from me says how I should or should not conduct business Monday through Friday or alternate Sundays or national holidays. I don't care. I got things to do. I ain't got time to worry about what somebody's saying, how I should or should not conduct my business, conduct my life. Thank you, but I think I got this under control. I think I got this covered. If somebody wants to make a claim, not a complaint that I'm selling something on Sunday, someone wants a claim that because I sold something on Sunday, it caused them harm, let me know. And then they don't have to take me to court over it. They just have to tell me, hey, can you stop doing that? Why? Because you're causing me harm. Oh, okay, I'll stop doing it then. Or if I can't stop doing it, but can I compensate you, or can I do it over here instead of doing it over there? So like I said, it also depends. Am I in the public or am I in the private? It all depends. But common law to just say the English invented it, oh, that's nuts. They've always had people have always had a certain set of rules and how to abide by certain customs and beliefs. Just to say the English created common law, that's ridiculous. Did they create their own terms? Sure. Did they do Trovan or Plevins and all that other nonsense? Sure. That's their words. That's within their culture, within their society, and that's what it means to the English. That's fine. That's their common terms. And then again, like people, if this guy is typing, whoever's typing, he'd say the same thing. It's like, wait a second. Won't you find something in your English common law where the English attorneys, the law society that decided to no longer be a law society but to be a legal society, and didn't they abolish the common law in like 1880 or 1878? Didn't they abolish the common law? Which is ridiculous, because the common law is the unwritten law. How could you abolish the unwritten law? There was nothing to abolish. What, you just stop people from thinking? It's like, oh, you can't think no more. What? Yeah, the common law, it's unwritten. Right? So how did the English develop the unwritten law? Where did they write it down? How did they store it? How did they record something that's unwritten? So I don't know who this guy is who's just giving you a hard time and just typing just because he feels like typing. Or if you watch something on YouTube video and said what the common law was. But if you look in every single law dictionary, it says the unwritten law. So it's unwritten. How did the English develop it? What's he talking about?
Nobody was writing 500 years ago. People couldn't even read.
Everything was in Latin, and the only people who got to write were the priests, the members of the clergy.